Get ready! As Morrison Communications Limited proudly presents Children's Day Celebration 2024.
Arts. La Small Hotel and Resorts, number 9, Rumukalagbo off Waterlines, Basta, Port Hackett.
On Saturday, May 25th, starting at 8 a.m. Inter-school march past competition,
Dance competition, drama competition. Parents, teachers and children alike, don't miss out on the fun with Uncle Clown bouncing castle as we cut the Children's Day cake. Admission is just 2,000 naira per child. For participation and sponsorship opportunities, call us now 0806
Suka Event Center, Gate Place Hotel, 8 Ball Hotel and Lounge, Oma Studio, Osgia Table Water.
2024.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara.
Every day.
Welcome back. This is the international news on Atlantic Television Network. Now the rest of our stories. Switzerland and Netherlands, In Saturday's grand final, alongside Israel, despite large protests against the country's participation and booing during its performance. Some 100,000 visitors have gathered in the southern Swedish city of Malmö for the annual Kishfest under heavy police presence as authorities brace for possible unrest. Swiss rapper and singer Nemo, 24, qualified from the second semi-final on Thursday with the song The Code, as did Joost Klein, 26, of the Netherlands, with his song Europapa. Singing this song in front of a live audience and knowing that so many people are listening made me really emotional, Nemo said during a press conference following the semi-final. The song, a drum and a bass opera, rap and rock tune, is about Nemo's journey of self-discovery as a non-binary person. I think it's really important that we have so much queer representation this year, Nemo said, referring to Irish contestant Bambi Thug, who also secured a spot in the final after performing in the first semi-final on Tuesday. Israeli solo artist Eden Golan, 20, and her song Hurricane also qualified for Saturday's grand show, which will feature performances from 26 countries. Some booing was heard from the crowd before, during and after Golan's performance, but also applause and Israeli flags waving, according to a journalist in the auditorium. "I'm so overwhelmed with emotion," Golan later told the press conference. "It is truly such an honor to be here on stage, performing and showing our voice and representing us with pride," she said, adding the organizers had taken precautions to make the event safe for everyone. The solo artist characterizes her song as a strong power ballad that describes a person going through a storm of emotions. Armenia, Austria, Estonia, Georgia, Greece, Latvia, and Norway also qualified for the final. Pain in Gaza triggered by Hamas' October 7 attack, arguing that the competition's pro-Palestinian campaign requested earlier this year that Israel tweak its initial lyrics in order to participate, saying they had originally made reference to the October 7 attack. In a video statement earlier on Thursday, Israeli were not only taking on Eurovision in a proud and very impressive manner, you were also contending successfully with an ugly wave of anti-Semitism and representing the state of Israel with enormous honor, Netanyahu said. Catalans vote on Sunday in a regional election that would determine the stability of Spain's socialist-led government and also gauge the strength of a pro-independence movement that has roiled the country for a decade. The government, led by Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's Socialist Party in Catalonia, after a decade of separatist government, if the separatists lose their absolute majority in parliament, it will term we shall see. But a win for the Junts party would bolster the separatist cause and create further predicaments for Madrid. Junts candidate is Carles Puigdemont, who was Catalonia's president during an ill-fated attempt to wrest the region from Spain in 2017, and he has vowed to resurrect an independence bid. Since taking office for a second term last November, Sanchez has relied on a fragile alliance, who faced prosecution in Spain over the failed independence bid and has been living in self-exile, but who is set to return home. Moderate rival Esquerra Republicana de Catalunia's newspaper. But some surveys also show around 40% of voters are undecided, so any outcome is possible. Ela has focused his campaign on pledges to revive the region's economy, which, since the independence drive, has seen its economy televised debate, saying he would develop clean energy. A Russian missile attack on Ukraine's northeastern city of Kharkiv injured 2 people and set 3 houses on fire in the early hours of Friday, local officials said. Kharkiv, Ukraine's second-largest city, which lies just 30 kilometers from the Russian border, is particularly exposed to aerial attacks and has been badly damaged as Moscow has stepped up its airstrikes in recent months. 2 people, including an 11-year-old child, were shell-shocked, Governor Ole Sinehubov wrote on the Telegram messaging app. Mayor Ihor Terakov said an S-300 missile crashed into the city, damaging 26 buildings, destroying 2 of them completely. He did not clarify what those buildings were. A cameraman at the scene saw fires raging in what appeared to be a residential homes at dawn. The emergency services raced to put out the fire, working among the rubble. Russia launched two S-300 and S-400 missiles at the region overnight, Ukrainian Air Force spokesperson Ilya Yevlash said in a television broadcast. It was unclear where the second one landed. Another guided bomb attack damaged around 25 buildings when it landed near an infrastructure facility in the town of Dehachi, near the Russian border, Sinihubov said. Russia, which launched its full-scale invasion more than 2 years ago, stepped up in the intensity of its missile and drone attacks on Ukraine in March of this year. Electricity infrastructure has been badly damaged, forcing authorities to introduce rolling blackouts in Kharkiv and the surrounding region, raising fears about what lies in store when energy cut in Kharkiv region early on Friday, advancing 1 kilometer near the border town of Vovchansk in an effort to create a buffer zone, a senior military source said. And Kharkiv has sent more forces to the area as reinforcements, the defense ministry said. At approximately 5 a.m., there was an attempt by the enemy to break through our defensive line. Under the coast have been repulsed. Battles of varying intensity continues. A senior Ukrainian military source who declined to be named said that Russian forces were aiming to push the Ukrainian armed force as far back as 10 kilometers from the Russian border and that Kyiv's forces were trying to hold them back. President Vladimir Zelensky said on Thursday that Ukraine could stop Russian forces advancing in the east if allied countries increase the supplies of arms. The Ukrainian leader made the comments at a joint news conference in Kyiv with the European Parliament's visiting President Roberta Metsola more than 2 years after Russia launched its full-scale invasion. Russia has been making small but steady territorial claims in the east of the country since the start of the year, with Ukraine's forces depleted and weapons and ammunition running perilously low. As he spoke, air raid sirens started to blare, a reminder of the threat of Russian missile and drone attacks which have intensified across the country for hundreds of thousands of civilians. This is their true attitude to peace, Zelensky said in reference to Russia as officials began moving towards a shelter. Metsola was in Kyiv on the Europe Day, which celebrates peace and unity across the continent. "How are you feeling, Roberta?" he asked, turning to Metsola, who was standing a few meters away. "I'm all right, but as you say, it's Europe Day. Look at this. Now I get an idea of what you live through every day," she replied. Ukrainian troops withdrew from 3 eastern villages in late April, and Ukraine's top commander has said the situation at the front had worsened. The U.S. decision to approve a huge military aid bill last month was welcomed by Kyiv, but many units have yet to receive new arms and equipped as they arrive to hold back Russian forces. Zelensky said making aid that is weeks and months away more pressing. Deliveries are taking place, but not in the amounts that were voted for, he said. Zelensky added that increased domestic production of drones and artillery shells had helped Ukraine in its battle against Russia's continued onslaughts. In the three tumult, police have descended on dozens of campuses to sweep up students in mass arrest, adhering to an approach many criminologists have found to be outdated and counterproductive. New York police arrested nearly 300 people at Columbia University and City College of New York on April 30th during protests over the war in Gaza, setting off flashbangs to stun and disorient demonstrators. 2 nights later in Los Angeles, police collared more than 200 people at UCLA. At schools in Connecticut, Georgia, Texas, New Hampshire, and elsewhere, protesters have been arrested by the dozens. Experts on policing caution against drawing conclusions about each police intervention, saying it is too soon to determine where police may have acted precipitously. That research can take years, but an early examination of the approach to campus protests suggests police in many cases have yet to shed outdated ways of handling large demonstrations. They added that too many departments have been slow to fully realize lessons from 2020 racial justice protests when police misconduct towards demonstrators resulted in several multi-million-dollar legal settlements. What we don't want is a large number of low-quality arrests. We want a small number of high-quality arrests, said Edward McGuire, a criminology professor at Arizona State University. Since the first mass arrest at Columbia on April 18, at least 2,600 demonstrators have been detained at more than 100 protests in 39 states and Washington, D.C., according to the Appeal, a non-profit organization. The charges are mainly trespassing, with some for assault of a police officer. New York has also accused suspects of criminal mischief and burglary. Some prosecutors are dismissing cases after police on horseback and clad in riot at the University of Texas at Austin on April 25th. Travis County criminologists say cases are dismissed because police apply broad general statements, sometimes in identical language, to large numbers of suspects. Such arrests are also prone to sweeping up bystanders or people charged with minor offenses such as trespassing. They can also be counterproductive by escalating tensions and generating animus towards police and cry that fuse even more animated sitting or former U.S. President in a 7 hours of testimony this week over 2 days in New York State Criminal Court in Manhattan. Daniels spared few details. She told jurors she had sex with Trump in a Lake Tahoe hotel suite in 2006 while he was married to his wife Melania, testifying about gold tweezers she saw in his toiletry bag and stating that he did not wear a condom. Trump, 77, has pleaded not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records to cover up his former lawyer Michael Cohen's $130,000 payment to Daniels, 45, for her silence ahead of the 2016 U.S. presidential election about the alleged encounter. He denies having sex with Daniels and has called the case a politically motivated effort to interfere with his campaign U.S. election against his Democratic opponent, President Joe Biden. Friday's proceedings are expected to kick off with more cross-examination of Madeleine Westerhout, the former White House aide who testified on Thursday about checks Trump signed in the Oval Office and the meeting he scheduled with Cohen early in his 2017 to 2021 presidency. Cohen, Trump's one-time loyal fixer, who is now an outspoken antagonist, is chief among the remaining witnesses. Prosecutors with Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office have not said when he will be called to the stand, and his testimony could last several days. Prosecutors falsely labeled his reimbursement payments to Cohen is when his retainer fees in his New York-based real estate companies were broader scheme to corrupt the 2016 election by buying the silence of people with potentially damaging information in violation of campaign finance laws. Trump defeated Democrat Hillary Clinton in the race for president that year. Trump has also denied the alleged affair with McDougal. Prosecutors have now called 16 witnesses and said they could rest their case by May 21st. Last month, defense lawyer Susan Schellis said prosecutors had provided them a list of 20 potential witnesses. They may not call all those witnesses, and prosecutor Joshua Stinglass said in court on Thursday they did not plan to call McDougal. After the Albanese government's announcement on Thursday that gas will remain key to the country's energy and export sectors to 2050 and beyond, the opposition has doubled down its plan to unveil a nuclear energy policy before the next federal election. While details of the plan, including the location of up to 6 possible sites for nuclear plants, have yet to be announced, the Nationals leader, David Little Proud, said the coalition's goal was to